guys, welcome back to the channel. Alright, so here's what we're doing today. It's inside that box. Let's go ahead and get our heat turned up. Yeah, huge shout out to the Big Macs there. This thing comes in handy on cold days here. Alright, so on today's episode, I'm going to show you guys how to replace your 2019-2020 Dodge Ram 1500 mirror. In the event where yours gets crushed, it's going to need a replacement. If you go to Mopar's OEM site, they actually do sell and list each part piece by piece. For instance, puddle light, mirror cover, mirrors, everything's listed. In my case, I got lucky. I happened to find a color matched mirror that matches perfectly, hopefully, to this side on eBay for about $285, and it was a little easier to go that route. So hopefully they sent the right part. It was a little Honda here, so you know it's fast, but I'm gonna go ahead and get this open and let's see if everything matches and has power and fold and heat and all those other options that this truck happens to have.
Ice in my veins, I've been dropped.
We actually have a Mopar box in here. So that's how you keep your Dodge parts safe. You put it inside a Honda box, apparently. Alright guys, now that this is out of the box, everything looks pretty good. I already checked it out. I do have the puddle lights. I do have the brilliant white mirror covers. I also have my heat, and I won't know if it has power folding until I test it and try it out. But based on there being two connectors, I think we are good to go. The color seems to match pretty well to the other side here. Actually, it looks a little cleaner, but we'll go ahead and get both of these cleaned up. Walking this part down, the only thing I see that's going to be an issue, and it's probably just due to shipping, is right here where this foam pad, it looks like it kind of got raised up. So we're going to go ahead and take a heat gun to this and get this to lay down real nice and flat. All right, now that piece is looking good, let's head over here and see what it takes to get to this. I have not changed mirrors out on a 5th gen yet, so looking at the hardware on it, I'm assuming we'll have to take the entire door panel off. So on the 4th gens, even though the mirror is mounted up behind this cover, the actual connection's like down here somewhere. So my best guess is that this is coming off as well as this. And also to note is that it looks like it has 2 studs that go through for alignment, and then possibly 2 kind of grommets or something that might connect in here. So let's go ahead and take that door panel off and that trim piece and see what's behind it.
I wanna be the best in the game, invest in my name. Check no restraints, I'm obsessed with the pain. I ingest, I retain, assess and I change. Possessed by the thought I'll be free one day from society's restraints. Money, clout and fame, mud, disease, a plague. We all love to hate, have to play the game, have to make a name. All our insecurities are on display. This is war with the enemy, think that it was meant to be. Living in a time where disease is on every screen. I won't let them fester me, I know most are festering. Negativity is a plague for the mentally weak. No mercy, all I got is work.
Went ahead and removed the 3 bolts and the 2 access covers, and I went ahead and popped off the door panel. And the reason I did that is because the door panel was overlapped over this. Now looking behind here, this is totally different than what I'm used to. So we're gonna go ahead and have to pull out these plugs, and there's no seam on where this is at. So we're gonna take this black ABS plastic all the way off, all the way down to here to be able to expose those studs for the mirror. Just removed the 3 plastic push tabs that hold in this black trim piece. I did end up breaking one, so I am gonna have to order one or just pick something up at a hardware store if they have something that's very similar in size. Only one of them is exposed and the other ones will get hidden behind the door panel, so I guess it doesn't have to match. They do make a proper tool for this. What I ended up using is a pair of needle nose with a 45. That way I could get underneath of it and then cradle it and just rock it. But they do make a body trim tool that's made specifically for that, so you don't scratch.
You gotta focus on yourself, on your faith, on your dreams, on your mind, on your health, yeah. You gotta work, never tell, keep your head down, find what you love and excel, yeah. Push and pull and repel any hate, go create what you...
We can see our studs for our mirror and the wire which goes all the way down. The clip I ended up breaking is right here, so I'm gonna go ahead and remove this. And we'll move on to these, which look like 10mm bolts as well. Pull this wire all the way down. It's connected here, here as well. It's connected right here, and it shoots around your speaker. And those 2 plugs that we had mentioned earlier are sitting right here, top and bottom, right to the left of your speaker. So I'm gonna go ahead and disconnect my plugs, and I'm gonna pull these out. Okay, so with this disconnected and all our plastic tabs pulled, we're ready to remove the 4 10mm bolts that hold this mirror down. What I ended up doing is I took out these 2 bolts and I removed this lower nut. I would recommend to roll your window down before you disconnect it. That way you could actually get your hands through it. Luckily I'm tall, I was able just to reach over the top. But with this loose, I kind of loosened this and then pulled my mirror out, and then I fed all the connections through this port. And as you can see, we have a mirror out. And this is what it looks like from the front side. So we'll be feeding our wire through here. And right here's the 2 where the bolts come through, and as well as the 2 studs that come through. Something I want to note, this piece of rubber here is flexible, and I looked at the other side to make sure that the mirror didn't go under this. On the other side it sits on top of this. So I went over here and I took a look. As you can see, it sits on top. I was worried water would get in here and get behind it, but clearly that's what the foam takes care of on the mirror. So I'm gonna go ahead and set this camera back up on the tripod, and I'm gonna get this thing mounted. Man, it looks good seeing my truck with the mirror on it again. So right now I have this thing held temporarily by the 2 nuts that hold it. Before I go ahead and put the other 2 bolts in and tighten up on these, I want to get this connector plugged in and make sure this mirror works as stated. I want to check the power folding, also the tilt in and out, up and down, and also I am going to run and turn my heat on and make sure I can feel this mirror getting physically warm. All right, so I'm going to turn the key to the accessory position. I'm going to go ahead and roll my window down. Let's try the power folding. Okay, we got power folding. Let's see if it goes out beautifully. And let's do the tilt. We got our down. We have our up. We have our left. And finally the right. I will not be able to test the heater function of the mirror. I did try it prior to this clip. Your vehicle actually has to be running to turn that on, so if you guys were wondering, it won't work. So I'm gonna take the guy's credit for it. The guy was super reliable on eBay. This mirror actually came out of Fort Lauderdale. All right, so now that we know everything works, I'm gonna go ahead and turn my key to the off position. I'm gonna set back up my camera and we will go ahead and put the last hardware in, finish connecting this harness and all the plugs, and we'll get this thing buttoned up. Alright guys, I got the door panel back on. If you guys need more detail on removing this door panel, if you look back in our videos, you'll see where I did a part 1 and part 2 for an Infinity speaker upgrade. I went into a lot more detail in part 1 on how to remove this. The things I want to show you guys though are the tools you would need to do this install. Of course, you got to have a nice shop light. I use this to remove the door panel trim. I use the needle nose pliers to pull the 3 tabs that hold the plastic trim around the outside. I am going to put a link in the description for the actual tool that you would need for this. Don't use these, don't break clips like me. You need a small flat blade screwdriver so you can remove your access panels behind your latch and underneath by your handle. And the 3 screws on the door panel are 10 millimeter, and the 4 bolts up here, 2 being the studs, are also 10 millimeters. So I would say this job took me about maybe an hour. So if you guys are needing a mirror replacement, definitely check out eBay. Also, guys with bighorns that don't have the sport appearance package, these mirror covers come off very easy. So if you have black mirrors and you want to color match these to your truck, it's probably hard to tell on this damaged one here, but there's tabs in here, right here, and these things remove, and this piece will stay, and this piece will all come off all the way around, and you can actually just take those generic black ones off and color match your vehicle with just the mirror covers and give your truck a great look. The other thing I want to point out is if anybody needs any of the parts off this mirror, whether you need a harness, you need the glass, or you want to just use it to experiment with, I do have the puddle light that's in here, completely broken off. But if somebody wants the puddle light or any of these parts, like I said, if you go to Mopar's site, you can actually order these piece by piece. You can order the case, hardware, whatever you would need. But I'll give you guys a little while, but if I don't hear anything back, I am going to throw this away. But that pretty much takes care of it. I'm going to go ahead and clean up this mirror and also this spot right here. This has been driving me nuts. It looks like rust, but it's just dirt. So I'm going to go ahead and get this whole thing washed down and see how nice this new mirror looks.